So throughout the year, I've been watching what people are wearing, what's been getting recycled, what's tired, and what actually feels new. So I thought it would be fun to sit down and just talk through it. Just an honest, laid back, professional conversation about what's working stylistically and what's not. We'll start with the outs because they're usually more interesting, and then we'll move on to the ins for 2026. So let's get into it. Thrifting as overconsumption. This one's a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more technical. I mean, is it really? Is it really? It's actually quite straightforward. What I've noticed in the last few years with the rise of thrifting and the rise of secondhand shopping is that a lot of people have the disposition that secondhand automatically equals sustainable, and it doesn't. Because the truth is that secondhand doesn't automatically cut out bad habits. Contrary to popular belief, you can still binge shop thrift stores. You can still impulse buy 10 random pieces, wear none of them, and send them right back into the waste cycle. I do love the rise of secondhand shopping. I do love that we're being a little bit more conscious. But when it comes to thrifting and when it comes to secondhand shopping, thrifting was such a trendy thing, especially coming out of COVID. And I just feel like we still have to be a little bit more conscious of what we're buying. If you know for sure that you're not going to wear that top, if you know for sure that you're not going to wear those trousers and you just bought it because it looks very, very different to what you would usually wear, but you're not so sure, maybe just try it on in the thrift store. If I see that thing and I try it on and I instantly like it, that's a sign that I should probably get it. If I try it on and I'm not so sure, then usually I won't buy it. If I have any sort of reservation, I won't buy it, whether it's a size, if the size doesn't fit how I am now, if it's too big, too small, whatever it is, I just don't get it. That really helps me refine what it is that I want, and it really helps me shop a little bit more consciously. What I'll do is I'll maybe take a picture of it and then I'll look at it in a few days time, or I'll look at it the next day, or I'll look at it for a few hours and I'll walk around for a bit, or I'll try it on again. I have no problems going into a store 2 times or 3 times within a 1 to 2 day time span and trying that thing on. I want to make sure that if I'm spending money on something that I'm actually going to wear it and it's not going to just sit in my closet. Try it before you buy. Polka dots. Hold on. I like polka dots, truly, I do, trust me. It was just too much. We pushed it too far. I also feel the same about bows as well. What I will say is for men in particular, I don't think it's overdone. I actually think it can be quite interesting for men. We don't really see bows or polka dots on men. As a society, we've coupled the idea of bows and polka dots with it being like sort of like a feminine thing. So I actually think polka dots and bows for men can be a little bit more interesting. This one hurts my heart and my soul because I'm a city bag stan, but they're just everywhere now. But I feel like I see the city bag so much here in New York that, okay, maybe we can actually just single this one to New York specifically, but I just think that the city bag is just everywhere. There are other great vintage bags out there. You have the Chloe Paddington, which is stunning. I think the YSL Mombasa, even though that was such a trendy, popular bag this year, I still think it's not overexposed, so I'll still think it's a very, very stylish bag. I also think the Dior Columbus bag, still a stunning bag, and I don't think it's too overexposed. Another bag that comes to mind that I've seen recently is the Fendi Pekin bag. This bag I think is actually quite stunning because I think the Hermes shape is popular right now. Every luxury brand seems to be designing bags with that Hermes shape, that Birkin shape. So if you maybe want to go down that road, but you don't want to buy a bag brand new, or you want something that's a little bit different, I would say the Fendi Pekin bag is a great alternative because it still has that sort of shape, but I feel like it's very flamboyant, but in a very subtle way. Another great option, especially for the Chanel bag lovers out there, is the Chanel Diana bag. I feel like this is a great alternative to the Chanel flat bag. So yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit different, Chanel Diana instead. You guys are not gonna like me for this one, but it's Pinterest. Not Pinterest as a whole, thing, but just Pinterest for style inspiration. Because if we're just being honest, at this point, when we go on social media and when we go on the internet, most things are algorithmically served to us. So when it comes to finding style and finding inspiration for yourself, the algorithm has studied you to a T. They know what colors you like. They know what styles you like. They know what type of influencers you gravitate towards. They know what sort of, they know your vibe. They know if you're goth. They know if you're looking to incorporate punk. Don't get me wrong. If you're someone who's just getting into fashion and you're someone who's just getting into kind of like developing your own personal style, is Pinterest the worst thing to use? No, it's not. It's not. Just be a little bit cautious when it comes to things like Pinterest, because the computer has mathematically decided what you should look at. So it's not all your choice. It's not all your decision. And I feel like when it comes to, developing taste and personal style, maybe this one is more so for the people who are a little bit more intermediate and advanced. I would say be careful with Pinterest. There's so many great magazines out there that you can get style inspiration from. Look at editorials, and look at the editorials that are not actually wearable. When you go on Pinterest and you see a street style outfit or you see an influencer's outfit, you're gonna see what people are wearing right now. But when you look at editorials and when you look at things that are not actually wearable but are more so conceptual and are more so ideas, you can actually just internalize the idea. You can internalize the concept and you can really feel it, and then you can go off and extrapolate that and make your buying decisions. Pinterest will show you what is aesthetically popular and what is trendy right now, but it will not help you develop taste. So now for the ins, what is in for fashion in 2026? So number one, I would say, is hand-me-downs. Hand-me-downs are so clutch when it comes to developing taste and actual personal style. If there's one thing I can guarantee, it's that some of you who are watching this have grandparents, parents, siblings who have a closet full of clothes that they probably don't wear anymore. I need you to go talk to them and ask them for permission very, very nicely and kindly. Do something nice for them and ask them if you can explore their wardrobe. And when I say explore, I really mean raid their wardrobe. Some of the most stylish people I've met and some of the most stylish people that I know, they wear hand-me-downs from their grandparents and from their parents. We're talking family jewelry, old handbags, pieces that nobody else has. And the best thing about this is that it automatically pushes you out of trends. It's personal, it's free. We like free. We like free, and we like clothes that are rooted in real life. You're inheriting items that have been used and that have been lived in, and that gives them character. The next thing that's in for 2026 is slouch boots. Some of the girls have been rocking the slouch boots recently, and I love how they look. The best thing about them is that they're so versatile as a shoe option. You can wear it with a skirt, you can wear it with, with jeans, you can wear it with pretty much anything. So this is a pretty short one, but slouch boots are in for 2026. They're in for the springtime, and they're also in for the fall winter time, the colder months. They add some much needed texture to your outfits. Get yourself some slouch boots. This one is just quick and simple. Analog archiving. We're talking printing images, collaging. Everything's going straight from our heads and from our minds and straight onto a computer, straight onto an iPad, onto a laptop. But what about actually just making things in physical form? Building physical mood boards, writing ideas down by hand and reflecting on those ideas. Not everything has to live in a phone album. My personal belief is that when you physically archive things, you actually see your taste develop. It becomes, why did this image attract me? And you know that you really liked something if you took the time to print it out. Number 4 is exhaustion. Just hear me out. Hear me out. When I say exhaustion, I'm talking bed head. I'm talking under eye bags. I'm talking messy and unkempt. It looks like it's becoming a little bit more trendy to look like this and to do this. And because it's so polarizing, this idea of being undone, a little bit unkempt, and being a little bit natural in a sense when it comes to certain cultures and certain demographics has been looked down upon. And there's been this expectation to always present your best and always look your best. We want to look perfect and we want to look young forever. That is just not how life works. It's just not the reality. Sometimes, you know, you just want to wake up, get up and put some water in your hair and get out the door. You know, sometimes you just want to get up and run a brush through your hair real quick and get out the door. Am I saying to look completely disheveled? No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's not run with this. Dark circles, puffiness, smudged liner, these aren't flaws. They're human. They tell a story. At least for you, they tell a story. I don't want to glamorize exhaustion, but I want to maybe just bring a little bit more focus towards reality. And the reality is we have lives, and sometimes we get overwhelmed and we don't want to try and present this perfect look today. And sometimes that's okay. This idea of exhaustion is showing up in beauty, and it's also showing up in fashion. We saw this on the Prada Fall Winter 25 runways in particular. The tired hair, the messy bun, this sort of like day after texture. I'm gonna read an excerpt of the show notes. What does femininity mean today? How can it be defined? The Fall Winter 25 Prada show by Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons is an interrogation of these concepts. Itself an exercise in posing questions, provoking discussion, displacement, rescaling, rematerialization, recontextualizing, and decontextualizing. Dresses, emblematic of femininity, are constantly, ceaselessly transformed through both form and how each is worn. Fragments of garments shift around the body, liberated from their original function and language. Non-recognizable in appearance, we question their origin. Their meanings change as they move, while through reactions between separate items, new silhouettes can be created. Proportions are altered, adjusting the behavior of clothes and the rapport between body and dress. In a process of reduction, construction becomes emphasized. Untypical materials are used, raw seams exposed with intention. Gestures of glamour and accessories, jewels, handbags, bows, decoration, contrast with this rawness and opposition. This difference and divergence is reflective of the multiplicity of femininity, a further questioning of its determination. It's a question of this element of perfectionism that we have in society through how we present ourselves, especially when it comes to the workplace and other environments, particularly through the lens of femininity. Charli XCX party till 4 a.m. energy that we saw a lot in the summer is leaning back into beauty. This is also something that I really love as well about Charli XCX in particular as an artist, because she's one of those artists that puts duality at the forefront of her work. And I think duality is such an inherent part of the human existence. You know, it's like the responsible person who does their meditation, does their yoga, really looks after themselves, is very in tune with their body, and, you know, during the week eats super healthy, but on the weekend they love to go out and they love to party and rave till 4 a.m. That's life. That's human. That's normal. It's okay. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. What do you guys think? Let me know. Use what fits your world and just ignore the rest. Fashion and style is not universal for everyone. Style is supposed to change and evolve, and honestly, so are we. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more videos just like this, and I'll see you guys very, very, very soon. All the best.